now is just run through a complete sign up. So we're going to build a sign up list, then we're going to go through the authorities, look at the services, terms and conditions, fees, and we'll proceed to the signatories, make sure who's signing, how they're signing, proceed from there, and then I can show you what it looks like when somebody actually signs. So we're going to use an example that we did before, but in this case we're going to use Gareth Morgan's company Wellnix, and we're actually going to sign up Wellnix and both the directors. So let's do a search on the NZBN for Wellnix. That's the one. So we need to pick a main signatory. We'll pick Gareth Morgan again as the main signatory, and we'll say that both Gareth and Robert are signing up as clients. So we can see up here the organisations is Wellnix, and we've got Robert and Gareth signing up. That's all we're going to add, so we'll just say done, and that's my sign up list there. Now again, I can have a look at the address. I've got two options, one in Grey Street, one in Custom House Quay. I'll leave it at the Grey Street address, and because there's only one company, I can have an office phone, office email. If I start adding multiple companies up there, these bits will disappear and just allow you to do the address. So the services is very much as before. Here are the services that Attas Books are going to provide the clients, and the authorities are very much as before as well. The thing to remember here is that we are dealing with multiple entities, so multiple authorities get created. For instance, at Inland Revenue, if you want Inland Revenue Authority, we will get Inland Revenue Authority for Wellnix, for Gareth, and for Robert. So authorities will be submitted or collected for each. Similarly with Companies Office, here Wellnix is showing it's ticked to say that we want authority of Companies Office, and this is its NZBN number. If we had manually added another organisation, we wouldn't have pulled through the NZBN number, and it would be asking for it here, so we could put that in. But again, Wellnix is the only company out of the three entities, so it's the only one listed. If we had multiple companies there, like we did before, then we would see them listed. ACC, same thing. So both Wellnix, Gareth and Robert, or all three of them, would, if you fill this bit in, we will get authority to act for all three entities. When you want an authority letter, this is as before, but what we can now do here is we select the client out of the three entities. Say that we wanted one from Wellnix, and we'll add a letter. Say this one was to AXA for any policy. We could then add another one for Gareth. That might be, I don't know, maybe Trade Me, for instance, and that might be for any information, and optionally we can add a date of birth. We might want another one for Gareth, and this time it might be, I don't know, KiwiSaver, and we'll have policy information for there. So we can continue adding authority letters for each client to a different company as much as we like. And these will be signed by the correct people. So the main signatory will sign for any organisations and for themselves. The other signatories will just sign for themselves. We might have some additional consents. I have a test one in there. This is just a test consent, and the general authority statement. Again, we agree the fees. Now, because this is all in one agreement, your fee text should reflect that you will have multiple entities in there. So, terms and conditions, exactly as before. We have standard terms and conditions and alternate. And any standard, happen to have a standard attachment that I attach to, for a questionnaire for my clients that I'm test signing up. So at that point I'm ready to proceed. So very quickly, if I run back, we've created the sign up list, we've agreed the services, we've got the authorities that we want, we've got some authority letters that we need to have created at the same time, we've agreed fees and terms, and we can proceed. Now, when we proceed, we get to the parties and the signatories. So we can see straight away the organisational part of the clients are Wellnix GP Limited, and the individuals is Gareth and Robert, and us being me is Mike from Atta's Books in this test scenario. Now, by default, anyone who is signing up will be selected to sign. If any directors from this company hadn't been selected to sign up as individuals, they would be available down here to add in if required. So we have the main signatory, which is Gareth, and it defaults to signing here and now via SMS. Now, what I might do there is say he's signing later via email, and the same for Robert. So that I'll show you what that looks like in a second. And for this, I'm actually just going to put in my email address. So that it comes through to me and we can have a look at that. So once we've done that, we know who's signing, how they're signing. I can add another signatory should I want to. I can save the draft at this point. I can download a draft of the agreement. I can review the email. So this email is the email that goes to the client when they sign up. And I may choose to edit some of that text just for Gareth and Robert. I may add another attachment or deselect the attachment that I have. So that's completely editable before you continue. And then we'll just proceed to signing. Now when I proceed, Gareth and Robert would get emails asking them to sign. If one of them was next to us, we can sign here and now via SMS, which is even better. And I will put in my phone number to allow that to happen, so I can show you one of each. So let's proceed to signing. And we are the review and sign agreement screen. So this is the agreement screen for Gareth, who is signing now. So as you can see, we have the parties, Wellnix, Gareth and Robert, and Atta's Books. And we've to complete the required information. You can see the two IRD numbers for Wellnix and Gareth. Because Robert hasn't signed yet, Gareth can add in Robert's IRD number if he knows it, but when Robert comes to sign, because it's his and he's signing, he can change that, and once he's signed, it's locked down. So any individuals are responsible for their own IRD and ACC numbers. The main signatory is responsible for their own number, as well as any organisations. So I will put in a couple of test IRD numbers, and that shows that they're correct. In this case, I'll just say I'll let Robert do his. So I can review this agreement, I can see the services, I can see any authorities and review them. I can click to check on the terms and conditions for Atta's Books. That's a little change from last time, just so the T's and C's don't take up a big chunk of the page. And now it's time for me as Gareth to put in the text that I've just received. There you go. This is in my demo system, the driver's license. Again, we can still use driver's license, firearms or passport. I need to accept on behalf of the organisations and myself, and as well as accepting Two Shakes terms of service. I can, as before, type in my signature. I can upload a scan signature, or I can sign on screen. And we've made this quite a bit bigger, and I'll say Gareth test. I can hit save, or I can go straight to sign agreement. So now we can see on the intermediary screen, I can see that Gareth has signed and Robert is still pending. So until Robert signs, the agreement will still be signing in process. If we go to the agreement screen now, you'll see what we've done is organise blocks of agreements together based on the colour. So there's Wellnix, Gareth and Robert, and that's currently signing in progress. Right, so this is the email that Robert receives. As we know, Gareth's already signed, he was there, he signed via SMS, and Robert receives an email, please sign the agreement for services with Attas Books, and it explains why it's been sent to him, and it asks to review the agreement, click this link. So we'll click that link, and then we'll see what we see when we sign. So when Robert clicks the link, it takes him back to the Two Shakes signing page for him to sign. Now when he goes there, he can see that the Wellnix, Gareth and Robert are all the parties that are signing up with Attas Books. He can also see that the two IRD numbers previously entered by Gareth and locked down by him have been input. He's responsible, Robert is responsible for his own IRD number, so he needs to put that in now. The reason it's mandatory is because IR is one of the authorities on this agreement. So I shall put in another test IRD number, and we can continue. As always, you can scan down, see the services, the fees, preview the authorities that are being created. He can see that Gareth has already signed. He can check the terms and conditions. And then he's being asked to enter a driving license. Again, this is just my test data. The same as Gareth, to sign them and to accept the agreement on behalf of himself and accept the agreement on behalf or agree to Two Shakes terms and conditions. You can type the signature, upload a scan or sign. And in this case we'll go with Robert Test and sign the agreement. Once that's signed, Robert gets told, thank you for signing, you can now close this page, and that's the job done from that point of view. Now in the background, that's all of the signatories signed, so emails will now go out to thank Robert and Gareth for signing, as well as providing them a copy of the agreement, and the intermediary can see on their agreements tab how things have come along and any authorities created. So both Gareth and Robert receive emails telling them congratulations for signing up with Attas Books and providing a copy of the signed agreement PDF. And here is the agreement PDF that gets sent to Robert and to Gareth, as well as being available in the agreements section of your dashboard. You can see it's coming from Attas Books. This would be the person signing up. A little logo there, and it talks about the parties that we have signed up. So signing up is the Wellnix, Robert and Gareth, and us is Attas Books. And if we scroll down, we can see the services, the fees, all of the authorities that have been created, and the two signatures, Gareth's test signature that are created and Robert's test signature that are created. And a few people had asked us previously about moving the terms and conditions to the back of the agreement because it would be a bit cleaner, and in this release we have incorporated that as well. So the last page of the agreement is now the terms and conditions. Now let's go back to the agreement screen and have a look at what we see there. So going back to the agreement screen, which is this button at the top of the page, and we can see this agreement that we've just signed up. We have Wellnix, Gareth and Robert. Now it's processing because it's still creating some of the government authorities, so that will change to complete. You can see that each of the entities is grouped together just in alternating grey and white. So there's another set of 3 entities signed up. That's a single entity, another group of 3. For each group of 3 there is one agreement. There are multiple ACC forms if you have selected them, one for each person, multiple IR forms. Any authority letters for each of the entities that you have selected, and there could be quite a few of them if you needed them. And then on top of that there is the document authority. In this case there was just a single document authority, and that got signed by Gareth as the main signatory. So you can click into each of these. Remember, these hashes here are the blockchain. It indicates the blockchain, so each of these documents has been secured on the blockchain. If you click on the hash, it will take you through to see the transaction, and if you really want to get deep into it, give me or Oliver a shout and we'll explain what's going on there. But if you click on any of these forms, you can open them up and see them. Just a reminder, the ACC forms, the IR forms, the Companies Office Authority all get sent automatically. The authority letters and the document authority, you would open it up and send it where it needed to go.